Okay, in this video, we're going to build the GitHub repository and spin off our project with Claude Code. So let's go and create a GitHub repository. I'll keep it public and name it Samantha LeadGen. Samantha is this voice AI agent that I'm building through my monthly workshops. You can find them here. The next one is happening in about a week. This is a special edition. This is the 4th edition. Therefore, I'm doing it for 2 days, and I'm doing it entirely online. So if you're watching this video and yet the time is not up, so you can sign up, and then we can have a nice little chat. That's the link for this one. All right, so let's go back to the repository, and let's create this repository. And what we would like to do is now clone this repository in here. I have already done it before, so literally the steps would be git clone, and then you paste the URL that you have copied from here. Something like this. Since the directory already exists, it will not let me, but it is, just let me do that for you as well. And all of these commands that I'm using, like rm, rf, git clone, these are all explained in great detail in my Vibe Coding 101 crash course, which you can find it from this playlist here. 38 lectures. All right, so we're gonna do a git clone now, which from this repository that we have just now created. The actual git usage is very, very important. You can also use whatever other solutions you have, like what do you call it? GUI, graphical user interface or something. So I'm used to terminal, so I'm gonna stay focused on terminal, and I prefer terminal because as a vibe coder, it makes sense to stay in terminal, especially using Claude Code because it's also a terminal application. Anyway, so this is Cursor now. I open this in Cursor, and we want to set up Claude Code. What I would prefer to do is install this thing called div containers. This is an extension by Microsoft. This is the one that you have to install. Once you install this, then you need to put this container information that I have it here, the div container, and I'll explain what is this in just a minute. Let me open this particular folder and literally copy this entire folder inside this one. So now if I do this git status, you can see that this new container is created. I'm going to push this added div container for Claude Code so that when you guys go to this GitHub repository that we have just created, you get all these files. I have just pushed this file, which we'll clean it up in just a minute. We'll add git ignore files anyways there. So you get this particular div container for a reason. If I open that file, it's a bunch of files that you can see here, which will allow us to open Claude Code inside a Docker container so that we can run Claude Code in an autonomous manner with the switch code, the switch called dangerously ignore permissions or something like that. We'll see it in just a minute. For this, you need to have Docker installed. So go to Docker and then follow the instructions here and then install Docker container or Docker desktop. There are quite a few options that you can use instead of like Docker desktop, you can use some alternatives. And all that it does is it basically creates a container where you can do things inside that one operating system. It's a virtualization step that you need to take care of. I have one of them installed here, Colima. So Colima is a terminal level thing. It's a very lightweight alternative to Docker. So you can also try Colima. This is also very, very nice project. It runs in the terminal, and it's much lightweight than Docker desktop. If your computer is not very strong, then you can also use Colima. I'm gonna go with Docker container, like Docker desktop for now, and let's go to the next step. What I would like to do now is literally take the project. Here we have the project, and then Command Shift P. And then if I type div container, I will find one item from this Chrome extension that says open folder in container, this option. You need to click that one. And then from here, you need to select the folder that you want to load, which contains this, basically all of these files. Once you open that, then you should be able to get literally the entire container span off automatically. So literally this Docker container will now have spin a new container here running, and the VS Code, or this cursor in this case, is basically the interface for that. So it happens literally by literally it takes like a couple of minutes in the start, and then finally it will work without any problems. I have a small problem with my webcam. Just says press any key to continue. Let's go on. Okay, now this is loaded. How would you know if it's loaded? You go to the terminal, and the terminal should show something like this: workspace main. If it's not workspace, I'm gonna just demo it somewhere else. Let's say this one. And I will go and open a terminal. Look, it's showing another terminal. It's basically if I type pwd, it is inside my computer, Emulsire, this folder, that folder. If I go here, which is right now inside this so-called container or sandbox, if I type pwd, it is in a folder called workspace. So that means it's inside this container. If something goes wrong, it's going to just break inside that container. It's not going to break your actual file. So it's only that thing that is going to break. It's a virtualized operating system. It's not your operating system. It's not going to break your computer. Because what we are going to do next is dangerous command, or at least it's called dangerous by Anthropic. Therefore, it's important that we do that. So